Alrighty, so UFC 322 has taken place, and it is definitely, an event of all time. I did really good on my picks. We'll get to it at the end. I think I went 10-4 on picks. So we'll get to it towards the end of the video. I'll have the official numbers. It's quite late for me. Obviously, this is an instant reaction. If you're a little newer to MMA, you're a little newer to the channel. This is going to be a breakdown, takeaway from every single fight at UFC 322. Jack Dalla Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev. Yeah, what a night killer. But all right. We'll get to the early prelims, work our way up. I'm gonna probably speed through some of these because a lot of these aren't worthy of note, in my opinion. But yeah, I think there was something else I wanted to say. But I kind of forgot. And the ending to the main event really killed the mood, to say. But we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the card breakdown. Vyacheslav Borshev took on Mateus Camilo. Now, I need to start clicking this more often so that's very clear on the video who I'm breaking down. Vyacheslav Borshev, I like, and this was a short notice fight. I picked Mateus Camilo in the comment section, and I did it by round 1 sub. It was not a round 1 sub, so I got that wrong, but I did pick Mateus Camilo. I'll be honest, I like Borshev. I would have picked Borshev if this was pre-Chase Hooper, but this is post-Chase Hooper, and he's kind of just been getting taken down in every single fight and, like, whooped on the ground. And then, yeah, I don't think Camilo won this fight, I'll be honest. I thought Borshev kind of clearly won rounds 2 and 3. But they gave Camilo every round. You're going to hear a notification go off in the background. Hey, me and a couple friends, we got some things to say about the main event, let me tell you. But we'll get to it. Yeah, Camilo won, but he didn't really win. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing on the feet at all. I mean, just being real, he really does look like he's scared to throw on the feet. And it looks like he's scared to kind of take damage. He's a little bit younger. And this was short notice, I get it, so that might affect the cardio. Bro, round 1 and 2, round 1, Camilo, I thought, won pretty clear. I think he ended up getting the takedown, and he was able to land some damage, and he was kind of close on Borshev's strikes. I think Borshev still outlanded him. Borshev, I don't know what the official numbers are. Borshev outlanded him in round 2 and 3 from what I saw. Camilo got a takedown in round 2 and a takedown in round 3 and did nothing with it. And got outlanded. But he won the fight 30-27. I guess we're into a specific era that we'll get to, but yeah, I guess we only care about takedowns now, and we only care about holding people in control time. Striking just doesn't matter in the sport anymore, I guess. But yeah, anyways. I don't think Camilo won, but Camilo won, so I got my pick right. Anyways, we move on. Bison Gur versus Eric McConaughey. Now, I went with Bison Gur. And I, in the breakdown, could not remember who this was. I literally thought this was an NPC. But I did think I saw his face before, and I remember trains with Hamzat, and he got almost knocked out in his debut. I don't know if he's gaslighting anymore. He got wobbled a bunch by Eric McConaughey. And Eric McConaughey's not known for head movement or anything. He's a little bit like a shit Khalil Roundtree. He's like an early Khalil Roundtree with less moves, I guess, at middleweight. And Bison Gur really, really struggled in round 1 and 2. I thought he got out-shrugged. He got out-damaged for sure. And it was kind of just like he was way too patient on the feet, and he kind of just kept on trying to get highlights. And I'm sorry, lil bro, you ain't fucking O'Malley, you ain't fucking MVP. That's what I was thinking during this fight. You ain't MVP. You're not hitting these fucking KOs and, these wicked highlight reel KOs, during round 1 and 2. He was getting cracked. He was getting held against the fence. He was getting kneed in the clinch. He was getting elbowed to the ribcage. These numbers are just off. They're just not right. I guess he was accurate when he would throw, but he just doesn't throw a lot. So that's kind of why I scored the first 2 for Eric McConaughey. And then Eric McConaughey got smoked in the 3rd round after a nut shot. Eric did land a nut shot in round 1. Very clear nut shot. Very clean nut shot, I guess, is the way to describe it. Sisakayev, I guess, has tiny balls because he literally shrugged it off and they went right back at it after like 50 seconds. You know, Kevin Holland, take some notes. But yeah, round 2, I thought Eric McConaughey did well. Round 3, both of them were kind of pretty tired. Eric got nut-shotted, and he took like 50 seconds, but he got uppercutted in the nuts, Mortal Kombat style. Like, literally just, like, you almost heard the X-ray move when they were doing the slow-mo. You know, just fucking crushing those nuts. But, Eric, I guess, also has tiny nuts, and he just agreed to go back into it, even though he was clearly gassed. And he just, like, locked out, and he got fucking smoked. You know, it was just, I think it was a jab or left hand that dropped Eric McConaughey. It was a goofy KO. It's a highlight reel KO. But yeah, this Sisakayev guy is not good. Either he's gaslighting, this is my theory, okay? Either he's gaslighting everyone watching into thinking he's rocked to make it a little bit more interesting, or he is dog shit and he's just fluking. So time will tell. There will be an RDR to fraud check this game. It might not be RDR. It might be one of his variants, okay? But there will be a RDR to fraud check Sisakayev. That is what I would guarantee. Yeah, this guy's not touching a belt. But, yeah, so that's a little interesting. Bison Girl gets it done. I get the pick right. We move on. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. I picked Fatima Klein, a.k.a. the coin picked Fatima Klein. If you don't know, I coin flip women's MMA fights because I don't give a fuck. And this card, I went 2-1, I think, on the coin, so we'll take it. But, yeah, Klein got it done. Angela Hill sucks. I don't care. It's a women's fight. We move on. Pat Sabatini took on Chepe Mariscal. I wanted to pick Chepe. Hey, I don't think there's a single MMA pick person who uploads videos. I guess I'm a YouTuber. I don't get paid or anything, but I guess I'm a YouTuber. But I don't think there's a single YouTuber in the business that does picks that is more in favor of the more dangerous guy over the grappler. But I couldn't pick Chepe in this because I've seen Pat Sabatini on the ground, and when he does get the takedown, he is just a different fucking beast. And I said he might be as good as Sean Brady on the ground. He's just better than Sean Brady on the ground, I think is what it is. His control is insane. Now, his face is made out of paper mache, so the rounds 1 and 2 were pretty close because of the way Chepe was doing well. And both of them seemed like they were cheating. I think Pat Sabatini had like a glove grab, and then Chepe Mariscal ended up eye-poking Pat Sabatini. The cuts on his eye, I'm surprised they didn't stop it after round 2. Round 1 was pretty close. I gave it to Pat just because of the control time. And based off the first fight with Camilo, there's no shot they're not giving that to Pat Sabatini, or at least one of the judges wasn't going to give it to Pat Sabatini for round 1. And then round 2, I think is a better argument for Chepe. Even though Chepe landed that head kick at the end of round 1, it didn't look like it did that much damage, surprisingly enough. Because normally Pat Sabatini's pretty chinny, but yeah, Chepe did end up like gouging his eyes while Pat was on top, I believe. He ended up getting his eyes a little scraped, and it literally, like, he had a cut here, or I guess he had like a cut on the brow here, right? And then he had another one like on the top lid, and then he had another one on the inside of his lid while also having a shiner here. Like, it was pretty fucked up at the beginning of round 3. But he just got the takedowns. Like, Chepe just couldn't stop the takedowns. He couldn't figure out how to get rid of the body lock. It's what happens, you know? If an elite grappler gets you down and controls you, you're fucked. Refs ain't gonna stand up to fight. We're in the grappling era. It is what it is. But yeah, Pat Sabatini won. I got the pick right. And you know, I did bet on Chepe because I like my finishers, but I did pick Pat Sabatini. I put 5 on Chepe. A nice little double up. Didn't obviously hit. I actually went 0 for 3 on my bets. I missed the parlay and then obviously the main event. But yeah, I mean, I missed my bets. It is what it is. You know, working class people like myself, we bet with fivers. So it's, you know, oh no, can't get a fucking large fries at McDonald's. It is what it is. But yeah, Pat Sabatini did well, you know. He's a good grappler. And Chepe just couldn't figure it out. Chepe I don't know. It's weird. Chepe's really good, but it's like he normally. I think the vibe was that a lot of people were picking Chepe, and I saw that throughout a lot of my watching other MMA YouTubers break down the fight, and a lot of people were really high on Chepe, and I'm like, listen, I don't even like Pat Sabatini. I don't fucking like him, but he is good, you know. And at some point, you got to be like, you know, sometimes dominance is it is what it is, you know. But I did really think Chepe would be able to shrug off a takedown, but he, you know, he did to his credit. But yeah. Pat won. I thought it was clear Pat. I thought rounds 1 and 3 were pretty clear Pat. Sucks for Chepe. It is what it is. Give Pat Sabatini probably another... Give him like an easier matchup for featherweight, man. Give him like a... something. You know. Give him Jose Delgado. You know, nice, easy, probably won't get chinned matchup. You know? And then Chepe, probably give him like Nathaniel Wood or some shit. Give him like a fun striker matchup. You know, I think he already fought Morgan Charrier. Yeah, just give him a fun featherweight matchup. You know, make Chepe fun. He doesn't have to be ranked to be a good fighter. Moving on. Kyle Dawkins versus GM3. I went with Kyle Dawkins. I went with round 1 KO. Ended up getting the submission after wobbling Gerald Mearshart with literally just a straight left hand. Went for, I think it was a Darce choke. Got the Darce choke. Take notes, Makachev. All right, Kyle Dawkins' Darce choke is where it's at. All right. But yeah, Darce choke GM3. GM3 just doesn't have it. I think we all knew that. I think everyone was pretty high on Kyle Dawkins. Makes sense why he was minus 500. I don't know who the fuck is betting Kyle Dawkins at minus 500, but those were the closing odds, I believe. But yeah, got my pick right. Not much to say. GM3, it's time to retire. OG of the sport. Fan favorite. Legend. Leyenda, as, you know, the Georgians would say, I think. That was Ilya's nickname he was trying to get. Anyways. Yeah, anyways. Moving on. Prelims. Malcolm Wellmaker got fraud checked by Ewig. Ewig, I think is how they say it. Ewing, I think is how they say it. Ethan Ewing. Didn't know who Ethan Ewing was. I picked Wellmaker. I don't think I put it in the video, but I promise you I have it in my Tapology, so I got the receipts. I picked Wellmaker. Wellmaker got fraud checked. Now, this isn't the worst case for Wellmaker fans, okay? The Willmakers, alright, might still be able to ride the train, because we haven't seen Wellmaker go past round 1, and it's sort of like what happens if he doesn't get the KO. He's still okay. Yeah, his striking's there. He needs to learn combos. His grappling's okay. He needs to be a little bit faster and not stand so tall and be a little bit ready for the takedowns. But, you know, the skills are there. It just sucks that he's like 31. I would have liked him a little bit more at like 27, but I get it. You know, Wellmaker can still be good. It did kind of look like he was relying... It looks like he has the good skills. Maybe it was up a weight class, short notice, opponent replacement that really fucked with his head. You know, Wellmaker did gas really bad in round 2. Round 1, I thought was pretty close. I think you could arguably give it to Wellmaker. But, you know, Ewing did pretty well. He did get cracked with a hook. But Ewing started pretty quickly to find the combos. And Wellmaker's head movement. Wellmaker looked like a young O'Malley in there. But Wellmaker's in his 30s. So it's not really that good. But he did look like a young O'Malley. He tried way too hard to avoid punch. Like, sometimes you just gotta grit down, man. And just go bang for bang. And stop fucking doing the head movement. You know? Sometimes you just need a fucking... Oh, this guy's about to do a hook. I know I hit harder. Bang for bang, you know? So Wellmaker's missing probably a little bit of that grit. He's not going to quit, I don't think, but he is not as, like, he's not making it ranked, is where I'm going to say. But he did look aight, going 3 rounds for his first time against a decent-paced Ewing. Great Star Wars ship, by the way, one of the best Rebel ships. But, you know, this Ewing guy looked pretty good for a short notice debut, fought, I think, a week ago. Outside of that, I don't know fucking anything about this Ewing guy. But yeah, good win from Ewing. Willmaker might need to go back to the welding shop. All right. You know, I don't, you know, maybe it's time to learn something more than just a hook KO. You know, I think he does have, like, he did do it. He was doing like front kicks, body kicks, head kicks. Like he was mixing it up. but he was also relying on, like, duck, under, overhand right. Like, he was really relying on that hook KO with his right and left hand. I think he's got good skills. He just needed to mix it in a little bit better. He's still a little green in the sport, I'd say. So, yeah, that's something with Wellmaker. That was not on my bingo list. This was kind of unexpected. Wellmaker getting fraud checked, but, hey, it happens, you know? I think that's my first loss of the card. We move on. Aaron Blanchfield taking on Tracy Cortez. The coin pick Tracy Cortez. You know, Tracy's got a nice ass. Aaron Blanchfield's looking more like a man day by day. Sharper jaw, bigger nose. You know how it goes. And Aaron Blanchfield got a submission in round 2. Was it really round 2? Yeah, it was a good submission, I guess. But, yeah, Tracy's got a nice ass. She should probably stop wearing makeup and fake eyelashes in her fights. You know, maybe take your career seriously. But it's women's MMA at the end of the day. Nobody gives a fuck. But, yeah, other than Tracy's nice ass, there wasn't really much else to go off of. I mean, they both kind of just looked like shit. Tracy looked like she had no head movement. Aaron Blanchfield looked like she couldn't fucking get a takedown until she got a takedown and then got a submission. So, you know, Tracy's got a nice ass. And that's about it. We move on. Roman Kopylov took on Gregory Rodriguez. I picked Gregory by KO round 2, and I got pretty close, to be fair. But, yeah, Roman Kopylov just ain't what he was in that. Like, the Chris Curtis fight was the best Roman Kopylov we'll ever get. We're never getting that Roman Kopylov. Paulo Costa really showcased it. Kopylov does not throw, and I picked Kopylov, or I picked Costa against Kopylov. I'm really good at picking Kopylov fights, like really, really fucking good at picking Kopylov fights. And this was just one where it's like, I get why they do it, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is a style mismatch. It's not really. It is just like Kopylov is just not that good. He's not ranked middleweight potential. Like, he's just not. You know, he's got power. He doesn't throw enough. He's quick and he's snappy. But he doesn't throw enough. And because he doesn't throw enough, he doesn't get respect on the feet. And because he doesn't get respect on his feet, he gets bullied around by grapplers. Fluffy Hernandez. Paulo Costa even able to grapple with him. You know what I mean? Gregory Rodriguez, while he did shoot takedowns and relied on single legs and didn't get any of the single legs, Gregory was just landing straight punches the whole fight. And that's just what Gregory does. And they were open the whole time. Kopylov doesn't know how to defend strikes well. Like, he does just sort of sit there, get hit, run away, get back into the engagement. Head kick. All right, now get hit 5 times. Okay, jab. Okay. 1, a 2, a 3. Okay, now we wait. We get hit 15 times. Okay, now head kick. Like, he does just, you know, it sucks for Ben Askew, but, you know, maybe that surgery did something to him. You know, but we'll always remember Ben Askew as the guy who beat Robbie Lawler and you know, was on the receiving end as one of the worst KOs of all time. But, you know, sucks for Ben Askew. I got the pick right. Gregory Rodriguez got it done. Yeah, Kopylov, I like him. He's good when you have a punching bag in front of him. Gregory Rodriguez is not a punching bag. He's stiff as a punching bag. But I'll be honest, if I was a middleweight and Dana calls me and he's like, yeah, kid, you're fighting Gregory Rodriguez. Next UFC card. Okay, there, bud. All right. I'd be shitting my pants. All right. I don't give a fuck if I'm Israel Adesanya. I don't give a fuck. Even like Jared Cannonier. I know Jared Cannonier beat Gregory Rodriguez. But I'm just saying, Marvin Vettori, these guys, I'd shit myself if I got called and Gregory Rodriguez is in front of me. He looks old, but he probably has one of the pound for pound strongest right hand down the pipe. Like, you know when you're looking at a fighter and you're watching them, you're just like, man, just throw that right hand down the pipe. Gregory's that guy. He's terrified, you know? And when you crack him, he doesn't go down. You have to either kill him or you get killed, or you feel like you're about to get killed. You know, so good for Gregory. Happy for Gregory. He did well in this fight. You know, he got cracked like 3 or 4 times, but, you know, he also cracked Roman Kopylov a couple times. So, yeah, good win for Gregory. Got the pick right. We move on. Bo Penny taking on Bo Nickelback. He's back, baby. Hey, the Ginger era is starting. All right, we're reinvigorating it. took on Rodolfo Vieira. Listen, I'm all for a Bo Nickel vintage fraud check these days, and he did look good in this fight. Wicked head kick KO. By the way, the Gregory was up in every round. I easy 30-27. I don't know what Kopulov's corner said, but in the Paulo Costas fight, they literally said he was up 2 rounds when he was down 2 rounds. So it is what it is. Anyways, Rodolfo Vieira is just not that guy to fraud check Bo Nickel. We all, like, if you're out of the MMA loop and maybe you don't watch prelims a lot, I'm not blaming you. Rodolfo Vieira's not that fucking guy. This guy quits when he takes damage. He's talked about how he doesn't like fighting. His losses are shit. His wins are pretty shit as well, even though he's kind of getting finishes. He relies on someone who doesn't know what BJJ is to beat. And if that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Rodolfo Vieira, he's not a jiu-jitsu nerd, but he almost relies on you being, like, weak to jiu-jitsu nerds, if that makes sense. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Rodolfo Vieira, then, I think you got to do some studying. But Bo Nickel, yeah, wicked head kick KO. I thought he won round 1 and 2 pretty clear. Vieira just didn't throw punches. Like, can we be real? That was a punching bag in there. Like, Bo Nickel, this was like playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, and you're doing a tutorial for the combat. It's like, okay, this is the right side. Okay, this is the left side. All right, now this is a low blow. Now this is the overhand, Like, you're literally getting a tutorial in front of you, and your opponent's not fighting back. That's what this was. Like, we can call it what it is. It's a good win, because it's a win. But that's it. Like, Bo Nickel against anyone good is still... He looks like he's just missing that he misses the QTEs on the moves, Like, when he's throwing that right, it's almost like he hesitates and then lets it go. When he's about to switch stances, it's almost like he second guesses himself on the stance switch. Like, you see it. You see that little, like, twitch. It's just, it's not good looking. It's not high level looking. It's just, oh, okay, well, you're an unranked middleweight. Congrats. You know what I mean? In Big 2025. But yeah, Bo Nickel got it done. Vicious head kick in the 3rd round. I'll be honest, Vieira could be faking that KO. I think he got KO'd. Like, I think he got knocked out, but I think it was a very quick recovery. And he might... I'm not saying it was a quick recovery, but it could have been a quicker recovery, and he kind of just laid there. That's the type of fighter Vieira is. He's a... we talk about RDR being a quitter. Vieira's a quitter. We can just say it as it is. We move on. BSD taking on Beneil Dariush. Now, I know a lot of people are picking Beneil Dariush on the YouTube commentary side. I picked Benoit Saint-Denis. I like Beneil Dariush. Hey, what can I say? Hey, we got knocked out by Benoit Saint-Denis, okay? Even though I picked my opponent to beat me, I got knocked out. It is what it is, My hair was going gray. I got dropped by Moicano in the 1st round. I got dropped by Drakkar Close in the 1st round. I got, knocked out by Oliveira and Armin in the 1st round. My 1st rounds aren't great. What can I tell you? But my scrambles are pretty good. But this Benoit Saint-Denis guy, the moment his little tappy hook touched my cheek, it was lights out. What can I say? It is what it is, I had to watch the replay once they woke me up, But yeah, we got knocked out by Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit got low kicked twice, and it looked like his leg crumbled. Got up, got kneed to the face, and then Benoit was like, fuck this shit. And he literally, like, taps, like, genuinely is that. Not like a whoosh, just like a dink, and it just turned off. Beneil Dariush. The perennial nerve? Like when O'Malley fought that one guy and fucking his leg went out? Or like Adesanya, it was, I think Adesanya Pereira won. Or yeah, Adesanya Pereira won. Like that sort of thing happened just with Beneil's brain. I guess Benoit hit like the temple and Beneil just went out. Like he literally flatlined on the canvas, woke up and was like, what happened? Fuck, man. you feel bad for Benny, but I picked Benoit. It just felt like, I even think I went with round 1 KO. It just felt like Benoit was just going to land it. And I know the narrative was like, who did Benoit finish with a punch? You couldn't have scripted it any better than that, man. Now Benoit gets a finish with a punch. Oh, you can't script it any better, man. Anyways, MMA is a wild sport. Holy shit. Anyways, Leon Edwards took on Carlos Prates. I went with Carlos Prates. And this one hurt. It really did. This one genuinely hurt. I'm a Leon Edwards fan. I don't know. You can count on me, laugh on me. That's 9 fights in a row. Headshot dead. I know the memes are going to be crazy. The edits. They all said I couldn't do it. Pah! Just him on the canvas, gum shield out. Oh my god, man. But I did pick Carlos Prates. And listen, shout out to Kenny Okoye for this, okay? Kenny Okoye, if you don't know, a little bit of a rage baiter, but I respect it to a certain extent, you know. Also known as Neil Magny's alt YouTube channel. But anyways, recently did a interview with, or I guess a debate with, what's his name? Bedtime MMA. So shout out to Bedtime MMA as well. Great fucking debate, by the way. It actually made me think Kenny Okoye had brain cells. I get why people are picking Leon. And I even said it. Leon could win this fight. If it's prime Leon, gets away with cheating, able to get his takedowns, he can win this fight. And if he grapples, he can win this fight. Now, in the build-up, he said he was going to strike with Carlos Prates. The moment he said that, I knew he was getting KO'd. I didn't change my pick or anything, because I don't really do that. But I went with Carlos by decision, getting a knockdown on one of the rounds. I knew Leon was going to get KO'd by the time he said, yeah, who's he fought? Oh, man. It's just Bilal. Oh, yeah, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Carlos Prates genuinely hits like a fucking truck. And short notice Ian Gary makes sense. I get why Prates struggled there. I don't know. It's just how good is Ian Gary, man, at the end of the day. But, yeah, Prates legit, like, people forget, man, he almost fucking killed Gary in the 5th round, to be fair. He killed Jeff Neal, he killed Rakic, he killed Neil Magny, and I like Carlos Prates for, like, the fighting nerd stuff, and his aura, but it was just about Leon getting cracked in almost every fight from pillow-fisted punchers. Leon looked really good in round 1. I'll say this, man. Kenny Okoye picked Leon Edwards. I get it. And I see that side. But he was pretty fucking delusional. He was saying, like, oh, Leon's never going to lose this fight. How the fuck could Leon ever lose this fight? It's even crazier than, you know, JDM beating Islam. Like, Leon's just never losing to Carlos Prates in any shape or form. Listen, Leon's got talent and all that stuff that everyone promotes. But the thing is that Leon has an ego. And he can't fucking let it go. He always wants to prove that he's better by, like, he wants to prove that he's the best mixed martial artist by mixing in things. But when you're good at one thing and your opponent is weak at that thing, do that thing to win the fight. In round 1, he got the takedown. He was holding Carlos Prates, and Prates was even trying to aura farm and looking weak because of it. You know, Leon got the back. Leon got standing rear naked choke attempt. He was able to, you know, get some control time. He was able to outland in the 1st round. He was looking big. He was looking good. He was looking filled in. And then round 2 came, and Leon's doing similar things. And then he abandons the wrestling, and he decides to strike. And he has a few moments, and then he's getting frustrated because Prates is just circling around. And then Prates has landed just that jab. I think it was a jab or it was a right hand. I think it was a jab, though, that put down Leon Edwards. And he was out. He literally, when you watch it back, it is kind of funny to think, fuck, man. It's funny to think of because he gets jabbed. And it's literally like, boink. He literally like bounces. And then he falls to the canvas. And like Terrence McKinney, SKO. Gum shield out, like smiling, sort of like clenching his teeth, I guess, is what it would be. Looking out, like he was out. And Carlos Prates was about to fucking kill him. And the ref stepped in. So I get it. So, some people are saying early stoppage in MMA Guru's chat. Oh my god, man. I don't know why people just want to see Leon die, but it sucks, man. It really does, because if you don't know the story of the Barry Ben channel, okay, I'm a little bit of a young blood when it comes to the sport. I've only been watching for 3 years. The fight that got me interested in the sport was Leon Edwards' head kick over Usman. Just being fully transparent. That was during my weight loss journey era. And that was when I was going through like the Mike Tyson edits, the fucking David Goggins sort of who's going to carry the boats like edits and shit. And then I started scrolling through, I think YouTube Shorts was just popping at the time. I'm seeing Leon Edwards. They all said I couldn't do it. They all said I couldn't do it. I'm like, yo, this is sick. What the fuck is this? I literally didn't even know MMA existed before Leon Edwards Kamaru Usman highlight KO. I didn't even know it existed. So I saw that and I was like, oh my god, wow, Rocky Edwards, 6 storyline, all these win streaks, and now he's champ, and holy shit, and now it's come to the point where I picked Carlos Prates to beat him. And it's like, holy shit, this sport is a wild ride, man. So if you're new to the sport, you know, get strapped in. You're going to be in for a long journey. And if you're older to the sport, you already know what I mean. You've probably been around, like, if you're around the Chuck Liddell era, I'm sure it's, like, crazy to think about, like, Chuck Liddell's rise and then eventual fall, and thinking about all the heavyweights nowadays and shit like that. But, yeah, man. It's just, Leon Edwards things. He's just dumb. He gets cracked in every fight. But when you get cracked by a legit guy who's got legit power, it's different, man. And people forget, man. Carlos Prates got a good fucking Muay Thai record. But yeah, that being said, Edwards lost. I got the pick right. It sucks to happen. And that's a little bit background in the Barry Ben channel. But that being said, we move on to Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. This was also not on my bingo list. You know, I really, really was confident in Sean Brady getting this done. You know, he looks big in there. His grappling's one of the most dominant in the sport. You know, he's the one guy who probably doesn't need 2-3 years Dagestan and forget. And he shot a takedown, got it stuffed immediately, and got out jabbed. And that was it. He literally couldn't find an entry. He got cracked with a jab. Michael Morales landed a hook here and there, an overhand right here and there. Was very, very accurate. I feel like these numbers are a little off. I feel like that was like 24 out of like 25. You know, it really felt like Michael Morales did not miss. And Morales came in with a really good game plan. Now, I was not high on Morales at all. Like, I have no... It's not because of the fucking... Like, with Peyton Talbot, we can make fun of him for pole dancing. With Ian Gary, we can make fun of him for being a vegan cuck. But with Michael Morales, it's not even because of him being a cross-dresser, okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, wild Ecuadorian fucking photo flying around, I think on Instagram, or video, I should say, might even be uploaded by him, of him literally being in a dress. And I don't mean like, oh, it looks like he's wearing a fucking dress with earrings. I'm not gonna, you know, hey, people have their pastimes. Whatever floats your boat. Michael Morales legit looked massive in there. Like, literally fucking probably the biggest welterweight on the roster. Muscle-wise and height-wise. I don't know how the fuck this guy makes 170. And I really did not believe in the power, because I remember watching Michael Morales go to wars with, like, fucking, what's his name? Dalby and fucking, was it like, yeah, Neil Magny did well, but everyone KO'd Magny during that era. Max Griffin was the fight I was thinking of. Max Griffin did really well, got takedowns, or I guess attempted takedowns. I swear he got a takedown. You know, Jake Matthews, in hindsight, isn't like the best of losses, or I guess best of wins, now that Jake Matthews got fraud checked by Neil Magny, but yeah, like Jake Matthews had a lot of success against him. You know, bro, taking Adam Fugit to round 3, like, it's crazy to think of, like, damn, you know, like, Giles last, you know what I mean, like, it is crazy to think of how fast this guy's progressing, because when I saw the Burns fight, I was like, Burns is just done, that was his retirement fight, it is what it is, but No, like, Morales genuinely might have just different levels of power in this division. Genuinely might have... He might have Protest power. You know? I really don't know who I'd pick in a Protest Michael Morales fight. And it really feels like Morales like, this felt like a debut fight. This felt like a Patchy Mix sort of debut fight. Like, this guy is just all of a sudden in title contention now. Out of nowhere. And Sean Brady literally broke to just a couple jabs, you know? And it's crazy to me, because in the build-up and everything, people are like, oh, what do you think of his striking? How do you think he'll deal with his striking? Sean Brady was like, I trained with Joe Pyfer for the past couple weeks, buddy. Okay, so I think I'm prepared for any striking. What the fuck does small Peen Pyfer have to do with this? And I get what he's saying, because Pyfer is a middleweight who's big and tall and reachy and long. If you're training with Joe Pyfer, who's bigger than Morales, taller and rangier, and probably hits like similar power to Morales, or I guess maybe not, but like, holy fuck, man. Find out how to get a takedown. Like, I can't speak too much because I've done little BJJ, and I haven't done any wrestling, but brother, like, I get it, he's hunched over. Michael Morales had a really, really good game plan. He was hunched over, and that prevented sort of like any double legs or anything Sean Brady could have went for. And when Sean Brady did go for it, he paid for it, and that's why he backed off. And it really felt like Sean Brady was just like, oh fuck, what do I do? He was a lot like Malcolm Wellmaker, where it's like, there's an offense mode where he's pure offense, fuck the defense, and then there's a defense mode where he's just waiting to get hit. And Sean Brady was just waiting to get hit, and he couldn't handle getting hit, you know? But it's just like, brother, you're this really, like, I really do rate Sean Brady's grappling. And this is kind of insane, man. To just get whooped like that by Morales. But, you know, I guess that Gilbert Burns loss in hindsight really isn't that bad, you know? Like, this Michael Morales guy might genuinely just have different power. Bro, the young bloods now are crazy. Michael Morales, Sean Brady, I still think is up there in terms of, you know, you could do Sean Brady Usman, you could do Sean Brady and a couple other grapplers in the sport, and Sean Brady probably beats every wrestler in 170. Maybe not the champ, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Michael Morales is now in title contention. Carlos Prates is now kind of in title contention now that he's beat Leon. Bilal, Ian Gary is about to happen. Joaquin Buckley probably just needs a 2-3 fight win streak. He's back in title contention. Shavkat's still coming off that break. Title contention. You know, the guy who lost in the main event is now also going to be in title contention if he can get some wins. But fuck, man. Like, welterweight's stacked right now, and these young bloods are kind of different. Anyways, we move on. Valentina Shevchenko took on Weili Zhang. I was probably one of the only people I saw pick Valentina Shevchenko. I will be honest, though. When I picked this fight, I think the coin picked Valentina. I just went with it. I probably would have picked Valentina anyways, like if I was legit taking this seriously because of the Grasso fights. Those are fights I actually watch. Now, as much as I shit on women's fights, I do actually watch them, unfortunately, most of the time. And yeah, just watching the Grasso fights and then watching Weili with the Yan Jiaonan and the other one, I really found it hard to believe that people were so high on Weili, but I get it, I guess. She's fun. More fun than Shevchenko. But I mean, the thing was, in this fight, I thought it was Weili defending the belt and Shevchenko moving up. When I found out Weili was moving up, you know, shout out to the Fighting Business, because they were the only fucking YouTube channel I saw that made this fight interesting, you know? Mainly because of the edits and everything and the way he was describing the fights. Great YouTube channel, by the way. Fighting Business is one of the best fighting YouTube channels for the sport. Absolutely goated channel. But yeah, I don't know what people were seeing with Weili. She had a few good takedowns in her last fight. She couldn't submit Yan Jiaonan with an in choke. That's always a red flag. And she was moving up a weight class. I don't know what people saw in Weili Zhang. But I picked Valentina Shevchenko. I got it right. Shevchenko's kind of aging like a fine wine too, you know? And people forget, man, Zhang's like 36, Shevchenko's 37, so they're not even that far in age. But Shevchenko is, kind of looks, dare I say, fine, as they say, you know? Those shorts really, those custom shorts really look nice on her. Let's just say that. But yeah, Shevchenko did Shevchenko things. She just out-techniqued Weili Zhang, and that was all it was. She waited for Zhang to do something, and then beat Zhang when she did something. You know, people forget, man, Alexa Grasso was actually good at one point. Moving on, we have the main event. JDM taking on Islam Makhachev, and the only fight that I picked JDM to win in his whole career, he fucking loses. God damn it. This fight sucked. This fight sucked. I'll call it what it is. I don't hate Islam. I don't hate JDM. I like both of these fighters. I'm going to make that clear. Islam's record is a little bit not cookie cutter, but it's kind of fraudulent in a way. You can, maybe not fraud. What is the word? Overrated, I guess. But he is pound for pound #1 right now. Double champ. All the flowers. Hey, dump the flower pot onto Islam Makhachev. He's earned it. Double champ, defended against a lower weight class belt holder. Now went up another weight class after beating a couple contenders, and then beat the champion at the higher weight class. All the flowers and respect to Islam Makhachev. When we're talking about all time, I'm sorry, GSP still above him. Islam Makhachev. I like Islam. He's a funny guy. Great personality from the cliff. That was the most boring title fight I've ever watched. That was worse than Valentino Weili. That was worse than DDP Hamzat. At least DDP almost finished Hamzat in round 5. Almost had a guillotine in round 1 and 3. This was the worst title fight I think I've ever watched in the past 3 years. Yeah. This was horrible. Maybe if you include the women's one, there's probably like Raquel Pennington probably has one. Yeah, this was a shit. This was literally Islam held on to dear life in half guard for, I think his control time was probably like 23 minutes. He held on half guard for 23 out of 23 minutes. That was it. And listen, if you're an Islam fan and an Islam glazer, and I get it, you don't want to admit that, you know, it's boring as fuck. Or you don't want to admit that, like, fighters can beat Islam. If you're just hands and knees on the Islam side, I get it. We can all admit that was boring as fuck. I get why it was boring as fuck. Double champ on the line, whatever. We can all admit that fight should have been stood up 5 times every round. Like, wow, he got a takedown, laid on half guard, threatened a Darce, never once got close to a Darce. There wasn't even a sub attempt. Yeah, no sub attempts. JDM fought hands well. He just couldn't get up because Islam just put his body weight on him and held him there in a cradle position or on half guard. And the ref, Herb Dean, just watched that happen for 4 minutes every round. Nothing happening. No advance to position. No threats on the choke. No real choke in. No real damage landed. JDM literally looked like he wasn't even in a fight at the end of that fight. No marks, no bruising, no nothing. I guess his calf was a little red from, what, like 3 low kicks? That was it. When they were on the feet, JDM landed a few shots. Islam shot a takedown and just hugged him. He's literally the hug goat. He hugged him for 25 minutes. Congrats. You know? Took some pages out of Hamzat's book. You know? I really thought JDM was going to be able to get back to his feet. And I know there's already going to be edits of like, yabba dabba da. And it's going to cut to like fucking JDM looking depressed in round 4 and 5. Because he literally looked like he kind of broke. Yeah, I mean, it was just a killer of the whole card. Like, this card was shaping up to be one of the best of the year. And, like, Islam got double champ. That was the most boring shit of all time. How was that fight not stood up? Genuinely, how was that fight not stood up? He would swap from a Darce to tapping punches on the forehead from time to time. But, like, he wasn't trying to finish the... Like, correct me if I'm wrong. The criteria for standing up a fight for refs is that if a fighter is not trying to finish the fight within a reasonable amount of time, they're stood up. Islam didn't try to finish that fight once. These show it. No knockdowns, no sub attempts, 30 significant strikes landed. I think those might have all been low kicks, to be honest. JDM landed a few shots. Islam took it pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I was 50-50 on this fight anyways. I really thought JDM was going to be able to get up. I thought, like, the refs would actually stand up a fight that was like that. But I guess we're in the boring grappling era. We're in the era where if you're a good grappler, you just hug people and you win. That's it. Don't try to finish a fight. Don't try to be a warrior. You hook your own gloves. Get a body lock. Take them down. And you hug them. It's not scary. It's not impressive. It's not a showcase of skill. It's literally just hug. And you win. As champions of the sport. You know? It really makes you appreciate Pantoja. Like, it really, really does make you appreciate Pantoja. You know? Yeah. Islam won. Yeah, and listen, like, if Islam won via sub, or, like, a wicked finish, or, like, just a finish in general, after dominating like that, that's something. Islam just... He hugged another man for 25 minutes, and he's getting paid millions to do that. Like, think about that. He's getting paid millions. Millions. To hug someone for 25 minutes. That's what we're rewarding. Yeah, fighters should get more pay. You know? I guess, I go 2-3 years Dagestan, join the UFC, and I just hug. And eventually I'll just get millions. Yeah. Seems pretty good. Yeah, sucks. JDM couldn't get his flow state going, I guess. I wasn't crazy high on JDM. As we got closer, I was getting a lot higher on JDM because I was rewatching the Bilal fight and I rewatched the Poirier fight. Just how good is Dustin Poirier, man? Jesus. The Diamond is fucking aging real well. Aging real well. Especially if Max Holloway can beat Ilia Toro in a rematch at lightweight. Hey, just saying. Putting it out there. Putting it out there in the world. But yeah, Dustin Poirier, one of my favorite fighters. 2-2 going into the 5th. And now that I have actually rewatched that fight, I genuinely think it should have been scored 2-2 going into the 5th. Yeah, man. Fuck, that's crazy. Volk did better, man. That's wild. 25-pound advantage for JDM. Power advantage for JDM. Size advantage for JDM. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, anyways, Islam won. Good for Islam. His fan base is no doubt just gonna be fucking jerking themselves off for the next little bit. When's the next? Oh, until December. At least we get Joshua Van Pantoja. At least that'll be a fucking fun fight. Yeah, we're in the era where you just hug to win, and it is what it is. You know, it's like playing League of Legends or like a Call of Duty, and there's just one champion or one gun that's just meta, and it's the most cancerous shit because it's just boring as fuck. It's not a demonstration of skill. It's literally just boring. You're stalling out a fight. Refs aren't going to call you on it because they know they'll get flack from that fan base. And the fan base was even starting fucking fights in the crowd. I think they were beefing with Dylan Dennis, Chonko. John Pork was fighting with Dylan Dennis in the crowd. I think after the Leon fight, or maybe it was the Sean Brady fight. Yeah, just wild shit. Yeah, really stunk up the card, that main event, but it is what it is. Islam won. I got work. Ah, fuck. I gotta go to bed. I got work pretty soon. But, yeah, guys. That's been the breakdown for UFC 322. Disappointing main events. Main card was pretty good, despite me going a little wishy-washy. Think I went 10-4. Predictions will probably be up there as long as I remember it. But, yeah, that's been my breakdown. Tune in for next weekend, being Sarukian versus Hooker. Yeah. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Gary. Yeah, you know. Yeah, that's been my breakdown. Thanks for watching. And if you made it to the end of this video, as always, I hope you have a good day.